Good morning. I'm Lisa Howard. I'm the Executive Director of the Alliance for Pioneer Square. I'm thrilled to welcome you today to the Friend Museum on this sunny Monday. For those of you who know where the Friend Museum is, but not what, let me give you an update. The Friend Museum is a collective owned by Allie Weber and Amanda Yvette, and a place to gather and to share in art and creativity. They house 12 vintage vendors who each curate their own rack in their distinct style and story, works of art in their own right, if you will. They also host a local bottle shop, Pass the Matches, whose focus is natural wine made by BIPOC, queer, and women-owned wineries. And finally, just last week, they opened their in-house coffee shop, Exhibit Coffee, serving Seattle's own Fulcrum roastery beans and inviting you to sit and stay while in community. For my time knowing Allie and Mandy, I know most importantly this entire space is about community, which makes it the perfect place to celebrate this milestone countdown and the announcement today. The LOC has already demonstrated an unwavering commitment to community and to business engagement, and we are looking forward to strengthening those bonds and this work over the next 500 days. And now I'm going to pass it over to David Young with First and Goal.
Thank you, Lisa. Good afternoon. I'm David Young, CEO of First and Goal Incorporated. I'm also a board member of the local organizing committee here. Can't believe there's only 500 days left. I've been a part of this since 2017, so 500 days may seem like a long time, but it's really the home stretch at this point. The World Cup, and the reason we brought this to Seattle is because it's the biggest sporting event in the world. We expect hundreds of thousands of visitors and billions of viewers to have their eyes on our city and our region in 2026. With that level of attention, though, also brings a substantial benefit to our region and to our city. In fact, Visit Seattle recently estimated that over $929 million worth of benefit and support and over 20,000 jobs will be generated by hosting the World Cup. It's a big, huge boost to our economy, but it's also a huge responsibility for the LOC as we execute this event and do everything possible to help small businesses like the one we're in today to benefit and share in that benefit. It's our goal to broaden that benefit of hosting the World Cup, to maximize this moment of global focus, and to make lasting progress. It's going to be a whole lot of hard work, but it's important work. Luckily, we're not doing this all on our own. I mean, soccer, just like football, just like all of our sports here in Seattle, it's a team sport. So we've got a lot of great partners here along the way that I'm proud to say that we've worked with at First and Goal and Lumen Field for the past 20 plus years that stadium's been in existence. So as we're announcing this small business initiative, we've got some great partners today: the CID, Small Business Relief Team, the SODO BIA, the Alliance for Pioneer Square, you just heard from, and the Seattle Metro Chamber. We have a history of teaming with these organizations, as I said, throughout the history of our operation at Lumen Field and ensuring that every event that we host there has lasting impact, and the World Cup will be no different. Thanks to funding from the State Department of Commerce, King County, and other private contributions, these organizations are going to provide direct support in the areas surrounding Lumen Field, but more broadly across King County, and really we're going to be also issuing a playbook for businesses across the state of Washington so that we can broaden that focus and broaden that benefit of that $929 million estimated impact. Our small business initiative and the team coming together to make it happen is just one way that we're pursuing the mission, an obligation to create a lasting legacy for more of our neighbors and welcome really the whole world to Seattle in 2026. And now I get to introduce someone who does know a thing or two about impact here in our community, Mayor Bruce Harrell.
Thank you very much, David. Hold your applause, please. You guys are probably tired of hearing that joke, but sometimes it just seems apropos. I want to thank David and Jamie and Lisa and Rachel and Aaron, my teammates on this. We're excited. Someone said 500 days. That may seem like a long time, but for us, it is not, particularly as being mayor. 500 days is a good time by which we can impress upon you that we are excited and we are doing everything necessary to prepare. I want to reiterate the why to some extent. Number one, we all know how sports are a powerful unifier of people. And right now, I think the world is looking at the United States and as an international citizen, how we continue to be, particularly in this region, a world-class, inviting environment, a fun environment, a safe environment. So this gives us our opportunity to not only unify everyone, but to display to the world why Seattle is a cool place to come and live and become educated and raise families. See, I got an agreement up there. Visit Seattle projects a minimum of $929 million generated for King County over the 6 World Cup matches, including more than $100 million in direct state and local tax revenue, supporting more than 20,000 full-time and part-time jobs. Now, that's a significant economic impact. This is a huge opportunity for our local economy and especially our small businesses, and that's why this forum is, again, very appropriate. And this area, too, Lisa, when we look at Pioneer Square and Aaron and the SODO areas, that this gives us the opportunity to gain momentum, gain excitement, and again, showcase ourselves to the world. As mayor, my job is to ensure that the city does its part to foster a safe World Cup experience for our residents and visitors, to help drive the same spirit that Seattle approached in 1962 World's Fair. And you've heard me on many occasions describe that legacy period. That's what this is for us. Recently, and by that I mean about a week and a half ago, I met with I think all of the mayors of the major cities that are host cities and some of those that are doing some of the ancillary activities. And so I'm very proud of our local organizing committee because I think our city and our state and our region, and Peter, your fine organization, I think we're demonstrating just outstanding leadership on how to prepare and how to take advantage of this opportunity. We will, as a city, leverage resources to support activations and events throughout the city, capital improvements to our premier gathering spaces, and bolster our city operations to make sure, again, we take advantage of this opportunity. Now, making this a success will require a significant amount of resources and financial participation, people, time, a team effort. So again, I want to close by, again, thanking all of my colleagues with me. This is our opportunity, again, to really shine. And as I close, I'll tell you what I told the mayors across the country. Very simple. Are we ready? And how do we know we are ready? So that is the lens by which I will evaluate everything that the city of Seattle is doing. And I am extremely, tomorrow I'll say 499 days. And I'll keep counting down until the matches begin. And again, thank you for being here and celebrating this. So now you hear from Jamie Lee. I think many of you know her with her as co-executive director of the Seattle Chinatown-International District and Preservation. And you know, she's had over 20 years of working with different organizations and a community leader, but most important about her resume is she holds 2 master's degrees from the University of Washington. Jamie.
I didn't know you were going to say that. Thank you, Mayor Harrell. Good afternoon. Happy New Year. Happy Year of the Snake. Those of you, it's New Year's this week. As the mayor said, I'm Jamie Lee, the co-executive director of the Seattle Chinatown-International District Preservation Development Authority, also known as SCIPTA. I'm here speaking on behalf of the CID Small Business Relief Team, which is a partnership between SCIPTA, the Friends of Little Saigon, and the CID Business Improvement Area. The CID is home to over 400 small businesses, not to mention the thousands of residents that live there. Many in our community come from immigrant and refugee backgrounds and have made a living for themselves and their families in the CID for generations. We conduct our work based on trust and relationships nurtured over years. Our work is based on a shared language, whether that is Chinese or Vietnamese, or a shared understanding that we are here to look out for one another. We are glad to see that the local organizing committee, Peter, Ann, Leo, and their team recognize the significant and impactful work that we do. We are glad to see that the Stadium Neighborhood World Cup liaisons will be hired within existing community organizations. Having this role join as a staff member of our team will allow us to build and expand on the work that we have already done in preparing for the next 500 days. Having dedicated staff focused on translating and sharing information related to the World Cup will ensure that the CID and its small businesses are prepared for the games. Again, thank you to the LOC and your partners and for prioritizing the CID and our neighbors in SODO and Pioneer Square. And now I'd like to introduce my good friend, Erin Goodman with the SODO BIA.
Good afternoon. Erin Goodman. I'm the Executive Director with the SODO Business Improvement Area. And as we count down the days to the World Cup 2026 and Seattle's role as the host city, I want to take a second to recognize the work that's being done behind the scenes to ensure that businesses and communities that are going to be most directly impacted can not only benefit but have a voice in the planning and logistics for this historic event. A key component to this, as you may have heard mentioned, is the Neighborhood World Cup Liaisons. This is an innovative partnership between the Seattle Local Organizing Committee and the business improvement areas in the neighborhoods closest to the stadium, the Chinatown-International District, Pioneer Square, and SODO. These liaisons will be the primary points of contact for local businesses, offering support and guidance throughout the event. They'll help businesses navigate street closures, adjust to traffic changes, and stay informed about real-time disruptions. They will also act as a conduit between our neighborhoods and event organizers. They'll channel the voices of local businesses back to FIFA's logistical teams, ensuring that not only are concerns addressed and solutions are found. From adjusting delivery schedules to facilitating communications with city officials, the liaisons will be critical in problem solving and minimizing disruptions. They bring essential local knowledge to the table, ensuring that the event organizers are responsive to each neighborhood's needs, with the aim of shaping a planning process that is more inclusive and effective. With the World Cup spanning multiple weeks, the unique element of this program is that it is designed with flexibility, able to make adjustments as needed based on feedback from businesses and able to address concerns in real time. This network of support creates an opportunity to turn challenges into growth for everyone involved. Ultimately, the goal is to leave a lasting legacy that improves how future large-scale events can better support neighborhoods and businesses. So as we prepare for this historic event, the role of the liaisons and the stadium neighborhood business districts will be crucial in ensuring that every business has the support they need to thrive in the global spotlight. The SODO BIA is proud to support this effort in collaboration. Thank you.
Well, greetings, everyone, and thank you so much for having me. My name is Rachel Smith, President and CEO of the Seattle Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce, and I am just thrilled to say the countdown has officially begun. So I represent more than 2,500 member businesses, and little known fact, nearly 80% of them are small businesses. Our region is known for internationally acclaimed companies whose names are uttered daily in every corner of the globe. They are also our members. But soon, smaller businesses from around Washington state will become household names for soccer fans everywhere by contributing to them having the experience of a lifetime. Of course, as locals, we know how lucky we are to have these places in our backyard. They make our downtowns, our main streets, and our neighborhoods the places where people want to be. And it isn't always easy. These stores have gone through tough times, but they always embody resilience and grit to stay afloat, just like our professional athletes do on the field. Off the field, our small businesses will be the connective tissue of the World Cup experience, and the Seattle Metro Chamber is excited to lead the business readiness efforts. We know that from the time the teams arrive until the last match is played, our businesses are going to be serving customers and navigating all the action every day, back to back, nonstop, rinse and repeat. And we all need to make sure that businesses, all businesses, are informed and able to ride the wave. To that end, I am impressed, but not at all surprised, by how attentive the local organizing committee is to that mission. And I know that the World Cup checklist that every person here wakes up with includes what we can do to provide tools to businesses and to support their success. And to help that effort, the Seattle Metro Chamber is assembling a small business toolkit, which aims to make the planning effort more digestible to employers on topics ranging from business operations to regulations to transportation. And we are very fortunate to have partners helping to fund that work, including King County. And while proximity to the stadium is an obvious thing to highlight, this event will boost economic activity for businesses throughout the entire region and state. We want to make sure that it's a ripple effect. 1.6 million fans aren't going to limit themselves to a few concentrated areas, and neither will we, because all of our business districts have something special to offer. In 500 days, it's game on for the entire Pacific Northwest, and our local businesses are ready to step it up. Every storefront in every neighborhood in every town in Washington State has the opportunity to shine, and together we're going to make that happen. Thank you.
Well, yes, I guess this is my time. I thought we were finished, but I would love some questions.
Omari Salisbury for Converge Media. Our studio is just right there in the Coleman building. So hello to my Pioneer Square neighbors and our CID neighbors and SODO neighbors. This is very fortunate news about this windfall that's coming into our city. You said it's like a World's Fair moment. But what I wanted to address with you, sir, is when Major League Baseball came here for the All-Star game, basically ethnic media was shut out. Nobody spent any money with any of us for the most part. And no dollars were directed in our communities for any media. So a lot of people never made it to all the different events that were going on for All-Star, even the drone by the Space Needle and everything else, because there was no concerted effort by All-Star to really address the different ethnic communities and the way that we communicate to our people. So I want to know what's going to be different about the World Cup. What is being intentional to make sure that this massive windfall that's coming in here, that these dollars are actually spent, one, in actually advertising, but also with creative agencies, activation agencies, and everything else that got shut out during the last big event that came to the Emerald City.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask someone to help me respond, but I also want to talk about, I am aware of, not to personalize it, but I know that with your particular company there was some things that didn't happen to your satisfaction. I was also pleased, however, that the league did step up and they put a couple of $1 million into 98118 into a ballpark. You're talking about ethnic media, and there was the historical Black College All-Star game that I think was sort of unprecedented. And so I think they acknowledge the fact that they have to reach a diverse group, and if the efforts failed relative to the ethnic media, then that's good learning for us as we prepare for the FIFA games. But I'll let you respond to that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for the question. My name is Leo Floor, and I have the privilege of being the Chief Legacy Officer for the local organizing committee. The question is one that we've heard quite a bit over the last year of community engagement. In fact, just 2 weeks ago on January 8th, we were up in the Central District in a meeting that was convened by a consultancy with about 45 Central District leaders, just asking that question, what would it look like to involve the Central District? And one of the reasons that we're really focused on the Central District, we have some pretty special matches coming here, and they come with even more responsibility. So we're gonna have the US national team playing in Seattle on Juneteenth of 2026. And we're gonna celebrate that match. It's a big deal, but you can't celebrate it without also celebrating the local Black community and helping to broaden the benefit into that community. So that's one way, is beginning to talk early, ask questions, figure out what the right strategies are gonna be. And some examples that came out of that are, one, highlighting local events like the Juneteenth celebrations that already happened, and then publicizing those to visitors who come to celebrate the World Cup here. Two is identifying local businesses specifically in parts of the Central District and then including them on an online application and Unity Loop walk that we're going to be using to direct the attention of visitors who come to the region. And then three, continuing to go back and ask the same group that actually formed to respond partially to the Major League Baseball All-Star game. They've got really good ideas about what it will look like to succeed, and we're going to be involving them in a planning committee that we're forming going forward.
Right, so real quick, Leo, I sell airtime, just like channel 4, 5, 7, 13, and everybody else is here. I just want to be able to pitch my advertising deck to someone, and either they find value in what I sell at Converge or they don't. Everything that you mentioned is great, but you see, this is what happens when these games come. People like us who are just in business, I'm a small business in Pioneer Square who just wants to sell airtime and advertising around the World Cup, but I get pulled into all these things, Central District, everything else. Who's responsible for selling? Who's buying ads, man?
Yeah, so another thing that I'll be sure to follow up with you on is we do actually have a database that we're building online, and any small business in the community can put their business into that right now. It's on our website. And then we actually share that with FIFA, with broadcast partners, with commercial affiliates who will come to town, and when they're looking for spaces or they might be looking for video support, we're going to have that list of businesses. So I think our first mission is to make sure that your business is on that list. And then as we're sharing that with FIFA when they come to town, as we're sharing that with sponsors when they come to town, as we're sharing that with people who are planning events, I want them to be able to see that list that's got your name on it, not because we did engagement in the Central District, to your point, or because we did engagement in any other particular community, but because our job is to take the list of all the businesses that want to benefit and then put that into the hands of people who will be spending those resources directly, and that's something that we're really excited about doing. So if you go to our website, seattlefwc26.org, and you go to the How to Participate web page there, you'll actually find that link where you could put your business information in there right now, and that's the list that we share with people who come to the city and ask us who they should connect with.
Can I follow up on that, please? You talk about a toolkit that would allow small businesses to participate. A lot of these mom and pop shops don't have time to kind of like connect. What are you doing to like reach out to them so that
they don't have time to fill out the toolkit? What are you saying?
Not necessarily fill, but they don't have the time to kind of find out, learn more about the toolkit. Basically, the onus is on them. So what is the city, what is the committee doing to kind of like reach out to these businesses that may not have the resources or the people to do it?
Well,
let me just take a step. Interestingly enough, I appreciate, Omar, you bringing up this conversation. I'm going to be bold, and Leo save me when I get too far. So yesterday at 4 o'clock on Sunday, I gave a speech celebrating a gentleman named Frank P. Barrow's 80th birthday, who's been in radio in the ethnic media as an African-American man for 40 years. And Chris Bennett, the founder of the Medium newspaper and owner of the Chris station, was there as well, including a lot of members in the black media. And I said, right now, the voices that are amplified in the room where I was yesterday, I said, it's going to be increasingly important for us to invest in you to make sure your voices are heard. Period. Full stop. But I also said, it's an incumbent upon you to make sure you are getting the information. So as mayor, we will do the best we could. You have to meet us halfway. That's why I appreciated the conversation. Now, having said that, if they are in the business of social media and advertising, you know, the truth is, as my children say, closed mouths don't get fed. Make yourself known. Now, having said that, Leo saved me because I know someone didn't like what I just said.
Well, and I'm going to invite up some of our teammates here in a moment to talk a little bit more about it. But one, how we would be getting out into the community to talk to folks. So over the last 12 months, we've been out, we've held 9 community forums. We've had 4 online surveys. They've been translated and translatable, more to come. And we're going to continue that commitment going through 2025 and 2026. The second is your feedback matches exactly what we're hearing in the community. If I've got a mom and pop store, I don't have enough people to operate this place, much less go here or go there. That's why the stadium neighborhood liaison is really an approach that was informed. You know, that's the advice that we got from Jamie, that we got from Aaron, that we got from Lisa. We have to resource community organizations to go out. And then like the mayor said, individual businesses can make a decision for themselves how they want to participate and what that will look like. Our job is to make sure they know about it and that they have information. Jamie or Aaron, anything you'd want to add?
I think you got it.
I think you got
But
it.
if you have more clarifying questions, let us know.
And then how do you make sure that this goes beyond World Cup 2026?
That's you.
This is my favorite question. So you might have heard I got to introduce myself as the Chief Legacy Officer. And so my job is really to make sure that we use this moment of global focus to make progress that will measure in decades after the event. The Stadium Neighborhood Liaisons program is actually an example of that. How do we build up the community organizations that have been here for decades and will be here for decades, resource them to increase the capacity on their staff to meet the needs and answer the questions of the communities that they serve, and then ideally demonstrate that that made a positive difference for businesses. And I think that that's one of those types of things that once it's up, operating, and people saw that it was successful, that we'll have a really compelling case to talk about why those liaisons should not just be for the World Cup, but they should be there for the next large event, the next natural disaster, all of the major things that come to our communities. I think it's a really good model to test during the World Cup, and then by proving it, make it last for years to come. And that's really what my boss, Peter, asks us to do every day.
Thank you. So I'm going to shut it down if I may. This has been a rich discussion. So I think we have our marching orders. We hear you loudly and clearly. So thank you for asking us on the record our obligations to ethnic media, that we hope we have the leadership and the commitment, and now we just need to follow through. So 500 days, we're counting. Thank you, media, for covering this, and I will see you 500 days from now when we start clapping like this, okay? Job well done. Thank you very much.